This
Uh,
conference will now be recorded.
okay, got it. So welcome to day 5 of our Canada payroll learning journey. So till now we have covered the basics of Canada Infotype, basic payroll process, and yesterday we have talked about the concept of wage type, the entire life cycle of a wage type. And today I'll be taking you through the core configurations. What are the different core configuration in a typical payroll happens? And this is more or less similar, not country specific again. So this, suppose if you're learning it for Canada
Mhm.
payroll, still you can leverage. There is no difference in some of the configuration, like period parameter, generating the payroll period, date modifier. So what are those terminology I'll be explaining. At the same time, I'll
Mhm.
also highlight which is the transaction code for that, or which are the table you have to go through. At the same time, I'll also explain the different SPRO path as well. So this is for even for Indian payroll, for any country payroll, it is country agnostic. So this core configuration will be always part of your any payroll, whatever payroll you're working. So so I'll explain you one
Mhm.
by one. The first thing first. So whenever I'm talking about the core configuration, the first thing comes to your mind, that is the period parameter. So what is a period parameter? Actually, it is a two-digit parameter which determines the interval. So interval for which that particular payroll is run. Or in the layman language, you can see the frequency of your payroll. That is as simple as that. So mostly in Indian
Mhm.
payroll, these are monthly, but in Canada, you'll be
Mhm.
finding different variation of it. Like it can be bi-weekly, it can be bi-monthly, it can be, so there can be multiple scenario. So for that reason, so for
Mhm.
Canada, it can be different. But by definition, the simplest definition is it's a frequency of your payroll cycle. So how frequently your payroll will be running. Like it can be bi-weekly, it can be
Mhm.
monthly, it can be weekly. Okay. So those are maintained in a configuration that is called period parameter. So how to maintain it? Simply, if you are going for transition code, directly you can go to SM30
Mhm.
and you maintain, there's a particular table name. So there you can
Mhm.
maintain the defined period parameter. Otherwise, from SPRO path. Okay, so here there's a small change here. Actually, I was preparing the slide for US. So it will be like Canada here. Simply that is as simple as that.
Mhm.
Okay. So from SPRO, you just go for payroll, then go for Canada, then the path, basic setting, payroll organization. Under that, you will be having defined period parameter. So I'll be showing you also. So this is the concept of period
Mhm.
parameter. It is actually one-time configuration. You do not have to revisit this thing once again. Okay. So this, whenever you are
Mhm.
implementing any payroll project, this is a one-time activity you will be doing. Okay? Unless and until suppose there is a variation in the future. Okay. Suppose in an organization you are running monthly payroll, as well as you decided for few employees you will be paying them weekly. Suppose there are contractual worker or on a timely basis you have to pay. So in those cases you may revisit your configuration. Otherwise, at a broad level, at a high level, this is again one-time configuration for any country. Okay, so this is the it is clear, right? Period parameter, concept of period parameter.
Yeah. So
Okay.
a parameter value will be should be one for.
So I will show you how to see that parameter. I will just log into the system at the same time I will show you. Okay. So the period parameter, like the example I have given, like suppose the company name is Best Travel Canada, and you are having a period parameter 01. For all of your salaried employees, it is a
Mhm.
01. It is a monthly payroll. And if you are having, say, this is just a hypothetical example I have given. It will be more clear if I give if you go to the system and I will show you. Okay. So this is a typical path to payroll Canada. Then your basic setting.
Mhm.
Under that, payroll organization. There is something called payroll organization. In that, the first thing is your defined period parameter. Okay. So that I will be showing you shortly. So it will be looking like this. So this is actually I highlighted something else, but for Canada, you can also
Mhm.
create your whatever the period parameter. If it is already existing, you can directly use that. Otherwise, you can create your. So ideally, the period parameter will be two-digit number like 0001, 0203, or like
Mhm.
there is a specific number for you. Okay? And accordingly, whether it is a monthly or it can be weekly. Okay. So this is the kind of simple example
Mhm.
how a period parameter looks like. So after 15-20 minutes, I will show you in the system. Let me cover another topic. This is the concept of period parameter. Then next configuration is your date modifier. Okay, so what is the definition of a date modifier and how is it different from your period parameter? So basically, what date modifier it does, it defines your different pay days for different employee groups. Okay, so what is the meaning of it? Suppose in case you are having a monthly payroll, okay, and suppose you are deciding like for all the executive, you will be paying on one particular day, say 25th of every month, and for another set of employees you would like to pay them little earlier. Suppose those are all another set of employee, another employee group they are having, say another day, say 21st or 22nd. Okay, but ideally I have not seen this scenario, but in case if it is required for your organization, you can have two different date modifier. Otherwise you can have single date modifier. Suppose for all of your employees you are having same pay day, okay, then you can utilize the same date modifier for everyone. Okay, and very similar, the transaction code will be like SM30 you have to go, and particular that particular table you have to go and update. Otherwise you have to enter those specific configuration paths. Okay, so payroll Canada, and you will be going to that particular path for that date modifier. Okay, so it is very simple. So this is again a one time configuration. Generally you will be finding this kind of thing like 0001. Okay, so ideally we can directly use any of this 01 or 00, doesn't matter. Okay, so you have to directly use it. This is again a one-time configuration. Once this date modifier and period parameter has been configured, the next one is the most important one, that is your payroll area. Okay, so payroll area means for set of employees for whom you are running the payroll at one time, at a single, suppose all of your executive. Okay, so you're deciding for all of your entire organization, whether he's executive or it is your contractual employee, doesn't matter. Suppose if you're running on for all the employees single day, you're paying them out in a single day, or then you can put them in the single payroll area. So whenever you're checking the payroll area, you'll be having two configuration here. So you'll be getting a pop-up, like one is for check payroll area, second one is creating a control record. So control record, yesterday or day before I have already shown you what is the meaning of a control record. Okay, so how to, we've just reset the control record from 1991 to 2000 current date. Okay, so anyway I'll be also showing today itself. So payroll area configuration is very simple. It can be also a 2-digit number or a numeric, alphanumeric. And what exactly you have to do after defining that payroll area, you have to attach two things, whatever I've just mentioned before. The period parameter, suppose you have decided 51 is your period parameter and date modifier is 00. Simply you have just whatever you have configured for your payroll, just you have to align it with your payroll area, so the system will understand this is my payroll area, this is my period parameter, and this is my date modifier. So these three things actually they are interlinked with each other. Okay, so payroll area, payroll, your period parameter or date modifier. For any country payroll you are implementing, this is the first and foremost step you have to do. Okay, so anyway your website configuration is separate. Okay, that you have to do independently. That doesn't depend upon this thing. Okay, that is another set of configuration. But from a system core configuration point of view, this is the initial baseline configuration we can say. You can do it. Okay, so this is the concept how these three things will be configuring for any payroll, any country payroll. Payroll area, period parameter, and date modifier. And these are all single one-time configuration. You do not have to revisit much. Okay, so here actually previously we have seen like how to create a payroll area. Simply you have to enter your payroll area and create. There's a create option. So whenever you are creating, so you'll be finding all as a 4 cross you'll be finding. Okay, so whenever you're releasing, that means as I was mentioning, the concept of these three, all of these tabs, release for payroll, release for correction, as I was mentioning, same thing I have explained here. So in a couple of slides, like what is the meaning of this, I've already explained. Release for payroll, I think I have already explained it before. For that reason that slide is not here. So release for payroll means, as I was mentioning earlier, that means you are ready for running your payroll for the current period. Okay, and if you are getting some error, due to some error in your system, then you can always come back to this payroll control record and you can switch to the release for correction mode. Okay, then only you will be able to update your master data. If your control record is released for payroll, there are many times the client will be, if they are very new to SAP, so they will be telling like I'm running the payroll, but at the same time I'm not able to update any master data. So that is obvious. So if the control record is in your release for payroll status, you will not be able to update any of the master data. Okay, that is for your on-premise system I'm talking about. But there is an exception. Just actually, as I'm working on EC payroll also, there is for EC payroll that is not an issue. So for EC payroll, we have something called exception. For some of the super admin, we can have write an exception and we can mention some of the user, one or two super admin. Even if the payroll is released or in the payroll condition, control record, still you can change the master data. So that is an exception and that is an advantage of your EC payroll, which was not there in your on-premise payroll. Okay, so that is just as I am working on EC payroll these days. So just I tried to call out that difference so that it will be helpful in the future. So this is regarding your release for payroll and release for correction. Exit payroll means suppose if you are happy with your current payroll and everything is correct, everything, all the calculations, all the gross, net, everything is perfectly fine, and then you can go for exit payroll so that you will start preparing for the next month master data or anything. Okay. So this is the concept of entire payroll control record, payroll area. Any question here?
Yeah, actually, if there is any error, then how we got to know that?
Okay, so that we will be seeing whenever we will be maintaining the input type at least, right? All the input type we are maintaining at least the input type 8, 14, 15. Okay, so then we'll be experimenting with those errors. Okay, so what kind of error we'll be getting? There are certain errors and how to solve those errors also I'll be explaining you. That is the already planned in the next 1 or 2 sessions. Okay, once your system is at least from a data point of view we are ready, then we can directly experiment with those payroll control, because those are the prerequisite thing for running a payroll. Okay, so anyway, so we'll see that. So that is the concept of your payroll control record and your those three concepts which I've told you: payroll area, period parameter, and date modifier. Now, till now we have seen 4 different terminology today, and the next configuration is generating a payroll period. So this is actually not a regular activity. Whenever you are running your you are doing your implementation, this is a one-time activity you will be doing. Suppose what is the meaning of a payroll period? Suppose I am saying we are in the month of June 2020 and we are suppose implementing payroll. Our payroll is going live from say August 2020. Okay, and the client has told like or you have recommended the client to generate payroll period. It is ideally suggested to create this payroll period for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so that you do not have to revisit again. So what is the meaning of this payroll period? So I'll just show you in the next slide. So this is the program I'll anyway explain you, but now let me explain this one first. Okay, so once you run, there is a definite this is a standard program for it. So whenever you're executing this generate payroll period, system will take you to the different screen, and this is your program name RPUCTP00. Okay, so this is in this program for Canada it is little different, but the screen will be looking like this. I'm just updating the slide anyway, but this selection screen will be very similar. Like period parameter you have defined, what are the date modifier you have defined, your start date actually you have defined. Okay, similarly, say suppose you are telling the system like the start date of your fiscal year is 1st of April, and after you define it, then you just execute this program. Once you execute, then system will update the backend table like this. Okay, so it is actually the payroll period. What does it mean? Suppose I am telling the system like for 2019 the payroll period 01 is 1st of April to 30th of April. Okay, and for this payroll period my previous payroll year is 2018 because my financial year is April to March. Okay, so in this way you can maintain, and means you do not have to maintain it manually by running this program. Generally this program whenever we are implementing we generally do it for next 5 year or 10 year accordingly. Okay, so then this table will be updated. Okay, so manually also you can do it, but manually it is very tedious to maintain all these things. Okay, but it is like there is also chances of doing any error. Okay, so for that this is a one-time program will be running 5 year for a 10 year. After 5 year or 10 year, once you are going towards the end of this payroll period, again you run it for another 5 year or 10 years. So this is not very frequently used program, but you should know. Okay.
So it will calculate previous payroll period as well. It will calculate previous payroll period as well, as per the.
As per the configuration,
Screenshot.
so suppose you are putting 2019, system will automatically detect the previous year was 2018. Okay, accordingly, it will just update the system. For any small changes, if you would like to do, like anything, you can still do the towards the right hand of this screen. It is not. I have not taken the screenshot. If you scroll a little bit right, also you can see certain configuration which I will be showing in the system, so that it will be more. It will give more clarity. Okay, so this is the concept of your how to generate a payroll period. So this slide is a repetitive slide. Okay, so another example I have given it here. Like so, this is again this is the test system whichever I have shown you. Suppose if you are putting the change database table, if you are not ticking this carry out table change, that means it will simply run a simulation run. Means as in the wage type also we have seen, right? If it is a test run, it is not updating your database table. Okay, if you are ticking only, then only you will be updating your database table in the backend. Okay, so similarly, if you're doing a running actual program, okay, so you will be seeing like the tick box here, carry out table change. Okay, and suppose what is the meaning of the final year? Final year means suppose I am current in the month of 2018 till 2030, I would like to update. Okay, so in this case, I can. This is not a Canada example. I just given a random example here. Okay, but the concept remains the same. Okay, so simply you tick this carry out this table change, and automatically system will update this thing. Okay, so this is for Australia I have created. Okay, anyway, this concept remains the same. Whatever country you are working, the same similar program will be running. Okay, so in this case, you can see there is another new thing here, which I was talking about in the previous slide. There is something called payday. Okay. So payday, it is not visible in the previous slide, but there is something called payday. If you like to change it manually, still you can have an option to change it manually. Okay. So in this case, 1st of July, and this is actually different payroll period. If you see, if you observe this payroll cycle, it is actually 4 weekly. Every 4 week, it is not a monthly. Every 4 week you should pay. Okay. So accordingly, the payday automatically system will generate. So you do not have to calculate and you do not have to maintain this thing. And accordingly, your payroll period also you'll be finding like 1st of July to 28th. Exactly, it will calculate 4 weeks. Accordingly, it will pay. In some of the industry, this is a requirement. For that reason, just to give an example, I have put this screenshot. But similarly, you can experiment with depending upon your client and all. Okay. Otherwise, for learning purpose also, you can experiment it. Okay. So it's a different number and different modifier. You can just try it. This is again a one-time activity which I was telling you. Okay. So this is regarding your how to generate a payroll period. Okay. So it is easy to understand. Nothing much is here. The next one is the feature. There is another feature which I also listed one of your assignment, but this is one of the key feature in your payroll. You know, one of the important feature in your payroll. What does it do? This feature actually determines the default wage type for basic pay. That is your info type 8. What should be my default wage? Suppose I am going to info type 8. By default, that can be possible like 2 or 3 wage type. It is applicable for every employee, irrespective of their designation or employee group subgroup. Okay, so you can define that based on some particular criteria. So these are my criteria. Like it can be company code, it can be personal area, it can be employee group subgroup. Okay, or country grouping. Depending upon that, I can create this feature, and it is very similar to any other feature. Okay, but the functionality you have to understand there's a difference. It will default your wage type to info type 8. Okay, so like same example I have given it here, similar example. Okay, so this
Nilatri, I have a question. So what is the best practice to update features? Because you know there are so many like BUKRS, all these need to be updated. So what should we follow?
Okay, so as such, you recommend the actually this requirement generally comes from your client actually. Okay, so SAP has given this functionality, which are the field you'll be using. But ideally, I have seen personal area, personal sub area, or employee group or subgroup. Company code level, people generally do not define it. Okay, so this personal area or it can be employee group basically. Generally, employee group when it comes to the LGMST, whatever I have seen is generally employee group. Depending upon that created. So for that reason, what I have done, I have given a simple example of a business requirement. Depending upon your business requirement, so for a regular, so I have given an example like on creating the basic pay. Suppose this is a business requirement. whenever you're creating a basic pay info type, that is your info type 8 for a regular employee, you would like to default two wage types. Okay, that should not be editable or non-changeable. By default, it should appear in your info type 8. Okay. So as mentioned here, okay, the outcome of this feature is suppose XX something here, and maximum number of wage types that can be defaulted to so and so wage type model. As per my requirement, I went ahead. This is a solution actually. So depending on as it is saying regular employee. So where exactly we define it, I tell you define it in the employee group. Okay, whether it is a regular or a contractual, those things we are defining. So similarly, you can go for employee group here. So in this is not an exact screenshot of for that. Okay. So here in this example, I have taken company code, and under that company code for PA.
Actually, here is the problem. If I'm just updating personal area, sub area, so Numker was not updated till the time I have updated company code, and I just follow the details like that: company code, then personal area, then employee group, then employee subgroup. Then only it was updated correctly.
Okay, okay. There might be something is missing in the configuration, or something people have done some mistake, or some configuration they might have deleted the original configuration. That can be a reason. Okay, but anyway, I'll compare that and I will come back. Okay. So this is from a conceptual understanding. This is the only topic for today. Now I'll be switching to your SAP system. Then I will show you all this configuration now. Okay, let me log into the SAP system now. I think it is the session is timed out already.
This conference will now be recorded.
So for that reason, it is always better try your preferred time, and let's see. But whenever I tried, I never got that situation. Like let's see.
Actually, every day after 12 a.m., this problem happens.
So in this case, what you can do, the second option you are trying, right? The second option, the
exactly. I'm trying second option, but somebody just altogether terminate my session.
Oh, that is very bad. So that person actually that not might
most
not
of
be
the time
aware.
I'm just saving some details. Yeah,
because I never know this thing. This how many people are using the system. I also never know. Okay, so because I have taken it from someone else, so this is from the vendor. So unfortunately, I do not know. I do not have any control on it.
Okay. They also provide this practice session for SuccessFactors as well.
SuccessFactors I do have. SuccessFactors actually I can provide to you. Okay. So for this on-premise, actually I have to take from outside because on-premise access is limited. Okay. So at present I have access to SuccessFactors. If you would like to have, I can provide to you directly.
Not right now.
No,
First, I just want to focus on this.
Just I'm talking. If you require it, just let me know. So let me go to SPRO. Yeah, welcome. So in SPRO, we'll be going to your payroll. So there is a dedicated node for your payroll. So under payroll, you have a country-specific payroll. So we are interested for Canada. So we will visit to Canada payroll. So the first setting first, which I talked about, basic setting. Okay. And under basic setting, we do have payroll organization. Okay. So I will always recommend whenever you are reading about any documentation, always refer this note. Okay. So even if the help.sap.com generally, if for country specific payroll these days, they are not updating much. Okay. So they are releasing SAP note for that, but those documentation you will not be finding very new. And generally they are focusing these days more on EC payroll and all those topics. But this country's localization and all, you'll be finding always refer this note directly. If there is a note saying basic setting, but there is no execution button, but there is a documentation section. So always refer this documentation section for your understanding. Okay, so this is very handy and it will be helpful for you as well. So payroll organization, they have set up for note. Okay, even it is a one line, still it is relevant. Okay, and define period parameter. So here you can also read about, suppose if you like to understand more. So I have just given a brief definition in my presentation. You'll be finding the straightforward definition of the payroll, the period parameter and everything. Okay. So they have explained more than whatever I've explained. Like they have some recommendation as well. Do not change the SAP period parameter. That means whatever SAP has given already, do not change or delete that. Okay. So, so all these things they have explained here, how it has been used. So detailed note documentation, you can find it directly from here. Okay. So I always prefer to go to this node, and I refer this node only instead of going to Google it, because in Google also there is a lot of suggestion that document may be current or not. You never know. It is always better to go to this documentation. So let's go now to whatever topic we have discussed today. So the defining a period parameter. This is the first activity we'll be doing. So in a typical period parameter, you can see there is already weekly, monthly, semi-monthly, weekly, all these things are there. Okay. So ideally, you can directly use whatever the period parameter. Suppose it is saying monthly, you can directly use it. You do not have to require it to. Do not require means you do not have to configure it from the scratch. Only thing is you have to just see the time, what is the start date for that. So for that monthly payroll, suppose if it is configured since only the start date is there is no end date to it. Okay. So like you have to see whether what is the 0001 1990 means this is active one. So you don't have to worry about it. What is the meaning of this time unit? Suppose if I'm going to see, so this is actually predefined by SAP. Okay, so if it is a monthly, these are all predefined, like monthly, semi-monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, annually, quarterly, half yearly. So these are the 8 different combinations. 99% of the client, they will be following any one of this. There will be no deviation out of this. Okay, so ideally it is one of this thing, monthly or semi-monthly, or these are more frequent. Or for Canada, that can be bi-weekly as well. Okay? So directly you can use this time unit. Suppose if you are creating a new period parameter for your own convenience, okay, still you can use it, but you have to choose this time unit logically. Okay, whatever is relevant logically for you. Okay, that you have to create it. Okay, so otherwise directly you can in the system directly you can use this 01 period parameter. There's no harm in directly using it. Okay, and if you see in the below section, people have created for their own, like for Australia they have created something, for India they have created something. Okay, so you can also use create your own as well. The period parameter, there is no harm in doing it. Philippines, Mexico, Japan, for different countries they have created for different things, but still you can use it. This is very simple configuration, nothing too much to worry about it. So second one is the defining a date
Okay,
modifier.
in that start date, okay, that you are going to update.
Yeah. So in this defined period parameter, you do not have to worry about the start date as well, because it is, if it is it should be the ideally the previous whatever it is there. Okay. Some people have created saying 1st of 2020. So in this case, what is the problem will happen? Suppose if you're trying to do any changes in the master data prior to 2019, system will throw an error. So ideally it is recommended whatever it is there, you keep it as it is. Okay. Otherwise, put a old date only. Okay. So not the recent one. Okay. So this is a configuration for period parameter. Next one is your date modifier. Okay, so date modifier, as I was mentioning, still this one also you can directly use. Even in my most of my project, I have used this 01. Okay, directly standard modifier 01. I have used it, and also there are something people have created like Walmart, Maximal Grid, all these things they have created. Okay, but directly you can use. There is no harm in choosing it. Okay, so once it is done, next one is your assign payroll area to the period modifier. Okay, so what we do here, so basically if you have created a payroll area, okay, so here we'll be assigning those period parameter and your date modifier here. Okay, so whatever the payroll area, it can be multiple combination, like it can be alphanumeric, it can be, previously we have seen how to create a payroll area. So same whatever the payroll you are creating here, simply the period parameter and your date modifier, you have to configure it. It means that you have to just simply, you'll be getting that also in this drop down value. Okay, so whatever standard modifier is there, whatever period parameter is there, simply you check it, and there is a tick box, you have to always tick it here. Suppose it's a monthly payroll, so run payroll means for that particular that is an active payroll area, you can run payroll for that particular payroll area. You can also experiment with one payroll area which is not run payroll, whether you are able to run the payroll or not. So this is a one of kind of assignment for you. You can try that. Okay. So this is the concept of how to align your payroll area to the two period parameter and your date modifier. Okay. So this is another concept. The fourth one is a control record. So this one we have already seen it. Okay. Suppose we are going for K0 payroll area. Okay, this is not existing. So you can create a payroll area. Okay, let me.
I
Okay,
have created one. I have
have
already
you created
created
one?
one.
Which
I'll
one?
let you
Which
know.
one you have
Just give
created?
me. Yeah, previously I have created and payroll area. Just give me a second.
It's starting with Z.
Um, no. Just give me a second.
Okay, take your time.
Is it X something X1?
Okay, X1, it should be there. X1, yeah, it is there. Monthly X1. X1 is not there. Why? X0 is there.
Just give
Have, have you saved it properly? Hmm.
no, right, something else. I'll just- I think it's XM.
XN. No, it is still
Let
not there.
just give me a second. Can you just share, search it with the what? Mm, Canada is there an option?
No, for
View.
Canada, nothing is there.
I just
Might be it is not properly saved, that means. Okay. Otherwise, what you can do, you can create your own as well. As you are mentioning X0 or
Mhm.
something, you can create your own. But if you are creating, if it is some giving some error, so
Mhm.
saying control record for payroll area is already exists. That means X0 is already there. You can't create an X, so it is already there.
Mhm.
X0 is there. Who somebody else created with this user ID. Okay, but he has not released for payroll. So you can create your X1 as you are mentioning. You can create your X1. Okay. So while creating an X1, you can see there is an error. Entry X1 doesn't exist in the particular table. So what does this table means? But how you can troubleshoot this kind of issue whenever you are working in implementation? Simply, you have to go to that particular table.
Mhm.
So it is straightforward. T549A. That is, I have to go to how to go to a table. That is your SM30 transaction. SM30.
Mhm.
Then T549A. Okay, that is the table name. T4549A, and before that you can just simply add a V underscore. Okay, so that table name, then you just maintain. Okay, now you can see actually here we do not have an entry for your particular payroll area, so that means you have not created any payroll area with that particular name. Okay, so let me find it out whether it is existing or not here. Let's go to position. Your payroll area was X1, right? X1, it was not there. Okay, X1 is not there. That means simply create a new entry here. Okay, and you
Mhm.
maintain X1 and say your Canada payroll period parameter, let it be the standard one, the monthly, and date modifier. Also check this run payroll date modifier also. Let it be the standard one. 01. Okay, then you try to save it. So this is a configuration
Okay.
which
Mhm.
okay, so whenever you're
So we
creating,
can.
create here only. Yeah,
Okay, we
so
can
now
create.
yeah, actually that is here also there is an option to create it. So but before that you have
Mhm.
to align it there. Okay, so ideally this is for your changing. Okay, so you can view it whatever the payroll area you have created it. Okay, so now you can view it. So let
Mhm.
me come back of that record.
Okay.
It is already
This we
saved with
can done with other updation as well, other configuration by just
other.
going directly into the table by updating directly into the table.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
for that reason, in the presentation, the slide, if you see, I have given two
Mm-hmm.
paths. Either first of all, I have shown you now this
Mm-hmm.
SPRO path, but as a starting point, because you are
Mm-hmm.
learning for the time being, okay, for the start, it is always recommended to follow the long path. Okay, so there should no, it should not go to the
Mm-hmm.
shortcut. Okay, So once you are getting experienced and you are familiar with all this terminology, all these things, then it is better to go to this. If you are working for a support project, otherwise directly you can go to their table name and directly. But why I'm suggesting to go for this configuration path, you will be remembering the flow. Okay, so first of all, we have to find the period parameter, and SAP is also intelligent. So they have designed all these configuration node in a proper flow. So there is a logic behind it. Why they have put it the period parameter first? Why they have put your date modifier first? Then they went for this payroll period and all. Okay, so you'll be able to relate it much a better way. Okay, the flow of your learning will be much better. Okay, so for that reason, I would recommend initial days you prefer to go for SPRO path only. Then after 1 month or 2 months, once you practice, you have already practiced a lot and you are familiar with all of these things, then you can directly explore all these things table name directly. Okay, so what it is saying, no control record for payroll area. So now that error is removed. Whatever error has been there, it is already removed. Now we are getting another error. It is saying no control record for payroll area X1, record type 0. What is the meaning of it? So you can see the detail of it.
Okay.
There is a no control record for payroll accounting area X1. So they call it a payroll area or payroll accounting area. Both are same. Okay. So even if I have created this payroll area for the first time, system will update the documentation again. Previously, the system didn't understand what is X1, but as we have already defined it, system is now able to understand X1. But system is saying you have not created a control record for this payroll area. So what I need to do? So next, I will go to the particular SPRO path again. Let me go back. So first of all, I will be creating a control record for that. Okay. So I'll be creating a control record. So let's create. Now my control record has been. I'll be just putting the period, say 01 2019. Let my earliest retro accounting period be 01 2018, and simply. So whenever we are creating for the first time, so you'll be seeing the status as created a new. Till the time you are not saving it, this by and this time will not be updated. Okay. So as soon as I click save it, now you can see the record has been created. Okay. You can view the details of the record. You can see the message, the record has been successfully created. Okay. Suppose if you like to view it again or change it again. Okay. So there is another configuration missing. So in this kind of sequence you'll be getting. Why it is saying that the subsequent period is missing, that is a 01 2019 in payroll period table T549Q. Okay, so this series of configuration you'll be finding, these are all related configuration. So what I will do, so these are actually easy, these are actually easy to understand. Simply I need to go to the particular table. So my payroll period has not been generated for this T549Q. Okay, so these are all T549 series table. So I can just go to Q table and I'll just maintain period parameters. It is asking to me. I have used period parameters 01 as I remembered. Then, so you can see for period parameter 01, we do not have a period still, although it is starting from 1951, the last period is actually, okay, so something is there, but in the 2018-19, I believe it is not there. Something is missing or somebody has deleted something. Let me check. Otherwise, if you would like to go directly, you can directly search 2018. Okay, 2018 is there, but some configuration is missing here. 2019 I have defined it, and your 2019 first, that is my previous payroll period. Okay, 11 12 11. Okay, something is wrong here. So 11 12, then 12, I think double time is the 12.
In this also, the previous year is also 18 and current year is also 18.
That is actually, I'm just referring why it is, somebody might have changed this thing. So 2018, what is the error saying? Just read it again. Period is missing 01. In order to perform this transaction, you must enter the period which follows the payroll period. However, this period is not available in the payroll period table 01 2019. Okay, so we will go to 01 2019. So directly, instead of searching it from here, also you can just type it 2019 payroll period is 01. Simply go to that particular, okay. So the previous, okay, 01 2019 is there, but the previous period it is showing 2018. Okay, that is my, just a minute. Okay, 1st of 2019 to 31st of 2019. Okay, so these two are actually error. Okay, the first you can see, you can identify the error, right? So these are actually two different dates. Somebody tried to manipulate it manually. Okay, so that you can just rectify it and you can correct it. Otherwise, what you can do, directly you can run that program fresh. Okay, so the program which I was talking about, that is just generating a payroll period. Okay, so that is the best way to go for that. It will override whatever configuration you have done. Okay, so this kind of error will be also learning whenever you will be working for with a new period parameter, and all these things are common. Let me go to SAP reference ing. Payroll Canada, then basic setting, payroll organization, generating the payroll period, generating your payroll period, country Canada. Okay, so as soon as I choose Canada, then I have to just choose your date modifier, standard modifier, period parameter is 01, start date is, say, let's say 01 01 2000, let's say I'll be creating from 11 or 15. Let me create it from 01 2015. Let it be 2050. Directly for the 50 year also I can get, there's no harm in doing that. And let's put it 4. First 0104. Determine, this is fine. Carry out, let me first check it. Test run. Okay. So field contains invalid sign only. Okay, payday rule. Okay, you have to choose it. This is a mandatory field. So this is ideally we choose monthly. Number of days, it is fine. Let me execute it. 0 days not possible for payday. Okay, number of days 30 days. Number of days may not be more than 28. Okay. So in this, but actually this is the people have done a lot of things here. So ideally this will not be the case.
Why? Exactly.
Some configuration they have done in the backend, something they have removed it. So here also I'm facing a problem here. Okay. Ideally, whatever you are putting here, it should be working depending upon your country. Okay. So now you can see once you run the simulation, you'll be finding this kind of, suppose let's say I'll go back to your particular 2018 table. Okay, so let me go back 2018-19. Two 2015-16, then your 17 is there. Okay, so you understood, right? The payday actually I have put it by 28th of every month. So for that reason, every month actually it is showing a 28th of that particular month. Okay, so 2018 there was a problem in 2018-19 junction. So let's see whether it is correct or not. 2019, that is my 1st of February, I put it here. Okay, so 01 is actually, it should be your April, but unfortunately something is configuration, they have put it February. Okay, February, then March and April. April, then I think there is no overlapping for the time being.
Yeah, exactly.
Ideally, whenever you're doing somebody tried to change it in manually, so for that reason that was an error. But you always rely on this standard program. Okay, so let me put it here. Say start date of fiscal year. Put it 0101, and will execute. If you try to execute it, then your 1st of 2015 will be always 1st of January. Okay, so this is fine. And so every time, another thing I would like to show you, like suppose I am putting your start date as a 1st of April. Okay, and your start date of the fiscal year. You can try all these things without doing this carry out thing. So you can then you'll be learning how these things is happening inside the system. Okay. So you can see now it is correct. So if you are putting, so this is a different one, although, and whenever you are generating this, system will give a message here. 432 payroll period has been generated, and previous, whatever you are doing it will delete those previous things, whatever you are doing the previously. Okay, it will replace with the new one. Okay. So in this way you can manipulate. Okay. So this is the ideal way of, yeah.
This period is showing from 3 only.
Which one?
Period is showing from 3 in the after generation when you execute it. Period starting from 03.
03 it is starting. Why? Because we are starting with 1st of April 2015, right? Which is system will definitely in the system it is understanding that is my which number of period. Okay. Suppose I'm putting it something say 0101, then system will behave differently. Now you can see it is starting with 12. Okay, because system is actually considering 1st of February as a fiscal year, February to, so some patches might be missing in the system. Okay, so it has not been upgraded. For that reason, this kind of erroneous these things are coming. Okay, but in the ideal environment, just understand the process how it is working. But in a real-time system, you'll not be getting this kind of thing. Okay, your system must be always upgraded because these systems are never getting updated. I have not seen this. I never rely on this. Only for the training purpose I use it. But in live environment, you will not be getting this kind of. But you just understand the process, how this program is working. Okay? So this is the concept of how to use this a typical generate payroll period program, which I explained to you in the presentation. Okay. So other than that, I will what is left. Okay. So this error actually will be removing. So once your this thing is established, so you will be able to create your payroll area and you will be generating. So it is I'll be giving ample time once you're done with that. Okay. So these problems are actually not very difficult compared to your PA this thing because that takes a lot of time to understand. A lot of many configurations are linked to each other, but here only 3 or 4, 5 tables are connected to each other. You can easily identify this error. So these errors are actually you can easily crack it. Okay. So this is regarding your how to generate a payroll period, which I have explained it. Other than that, what is left? Period parameter we understood. Then your this is the program. Also, you can directly execute this program by going to SP your sorry that SC38. Okay, directly if you like to instead of going to this path, the top section of this program, the program name it is clearly visible. RPUCT P00. So same program you can directly execute from SC38. That is RPUCT. As soon as you start typing, this you will be getting all this program name RPCUT, RPUCT P00, RPUCT P00. Yeah, RPCUT P00. Okay, automatically you'll be getting that program name here. Then if you just try to execute it, then it will take you the same screen. Okay, and do you have any idea of variant? How to create a variant?
How to create a variant?
Variant, I think I have not explained you, right? It's okay. So whenever you are using any, this is applicable for any modules of SAP. Okay, not only for HR, any modules of SAP. Suppose on a regular basis, if you are using a particular program, that is more applicable for your payroll driver program. Okay, so what you can do, some of the fields you can predefine it. Like, so here you can see there is a concept called get variant. Get variant means somebody has already saved something. Okay, like you can see, like for Australia, people have created already one variant. So what is the meaning of this variant? Suppose I'm choosing the last, say AU monthly, or last one I'm choosing for US. Okay, if I choose this particular variant, automatically this data will be filled. Yeah. Okay. So this is the concept of variant. Okay. So you can also create your own variant. Suppose out of the 7 or 8 fields, suppose 5 or 6 fields always remains the same. So you do not have to enter every time. Okay. To save your time. Okay. So you can create your own variant. You can maintain that variant. So whenever you're executing that same program once again in the future, okay, So you do not have to enter everything. Simply click and choose your variant, and you'll be getting your results. Okay, so what we can do here for our Canada payroll, we can use say 01 as a period parameter. Date modifier, you can use the standard date modifier, that is 01, and we can put our start date. This is say 2015. Our final year it can be 2050, say, and 0101 payday, this is fine. Number of days, this is fine. So what I can do, number of days, it will be like say payday 28 or 30. I'll put it 28. Let me 30. Let me put it, and I will try to suppose execute it without carrying out a table change. Okay, this is fine. So after changing it, suppose I will just save this as a variant. Okay, system will ask you, like I'll put it here like CA for Canada underscore Zera. So you can put your own name, otherwise you make which is understandable for you. So you can create a variant for this, and whenever you are executing the same program, just simply in the next time you choose your own variant. Okay, so you do not have to enter everything. And this is actually, this is not relevant example for, because we are not using this program very frequently. This is ideally used for your program which are using more frequent, like your payroll running a payroll program, running off-cycle payroll program. Okay, so on those transactions you can create a variant, you can utilize. So that is the concept of variant. So that is the concept. The next one is, I've already covered this thing, like how to define a period parameter, check payroll, all these things. So next one is your, this one also we have seen, like period parameter, how to assign this. And similarly, as I was mentioning, from SM30 table also, you can access this, whatever I've shown you in the transaction. Suppose if you go to SM30, and if you access that particular table, like I am mentioning in this, for period parameter, the table name is B underscore P59R. Okay, so directly you can go to that particular table and you can just simply maintain it. You can see this, you will be reaching to the same node directly instead of going to SPRO. Okay, so in this way you can also that particular node directly. So same is applicable for your remaining say period parameter, say date modifier. Say for date modifier, simply you have to go to 549L. Okay, so as these are closely related, you will be finding only the last letter is changing. It is defined in that way. Okay? So this is my date modifier table name. Okay, same is applicable for remaining configuration as well. So for remaining configuration, actually this is the program name, so you will not be finding a table name here. Okay? So this is the overall concept, whatever we have seen. And then now last one is actually the feature. So feature transaction is your /n PE0. So PE03, we'll be seeing LGMS feature here. So that is a planned payment specification. The official name for this is LGMS is planned payment specification. That means you have already planned, as the naming suggesting, already planned means what should be the default pay for your particular country or particular thing, particular input type, but they have not properly defined it. It's all randomly they have put it. So under employee group, as I was mentioning, active employee, and for full time, and for active employee again under employee subgroup they have defined. There is a different types of this. This is a good one they have created. Okay, so which payroll area, so what will be their pay component and all payroll some employee subgroup wise they have created a very complex thing. Okay, so depending upon your client scenario, you can explore this. Okay, but anyway, suppose if the client is having a not proper structure, okay, it is not mandatory to always use this feature. Okay, these are good to have. These features are good to have. Your mostly in the private sector is not used because the salary varies a lot. Okay, there is no, only the minimum maximum salary is there, but it can vary a lot. But only the in case of government sector or PSU, public sector and all, generally those have a fixed band and fixed time. So in those cases, these are very much relevant. Okay, but SAP has given all this functionality, keeping all the mind into all kind of industry, because SAP caters to more than 25 plus industries across globe. Okay, for that reason they have given all this functionality. It is up to you how you are going to use it, but you have to understand it, how, why it is used it, and where exactly use it. It's not mandatory you have to use. SAP has given means that you have to use. That doesn't mean that. Whenever it is required, or whenever if it is a client, there is a client requirement, so then you can use it. Okay? So that is your understanding of feature.
This subtype node comes from where?
Okay, so this subtype actually they have wrongly configured. Somebody tried here, but ideally it should be the Germany structure will be, it is perfectly fine. You can see the Germany payroll for LGMST for Germany. Ideally it should be like this. Okay, but somebody has tried to exploit it and tried to configure something of his whatever comes his to mind. Ideally it should be, that should not be subtype. It should be your you can delete it. You can delete it. You can try to directly create from your own. Okay, so you can try it from scratch. Okay, so the way Germany has been configured, right? That is an ideal configuration. So employee group, employee subgroup, directly it should be the structure. Similarly, you can go for any other country. For Switzerland, also somebody is created, but it is from personal area. Okay, but this can be also a good example. But ideally, I have seen in the typical environment in the payroll. So I have seen this kind of employee group. For Spain also, it is correct. Okay, so you can see for Spain they have created for employee group. Only that is simple. They have not. They do not have a. Okay, they under one again they do have segregation. But this is actually the actual scenario for Spain or Germany, and for other countries also you can explore. You can similarly you can configure it for Canada as well. Okay? So this is the way we can configure this LGMS
So I can delete this node.
You can delete it.
So I can delete this node.
You can delete it. Okay, whatever you are finding. Okay, so you can delete it and you can start from beginning. Okay, as Germany structure, you can follow the Germany structure. Let me check for India because Indian payroll also many people studying. So I think for India, I think it's correct one. Okay, somebody has perfectly done it. Okay. So for India also they have done it correctly. Employee group and it should be under that employee sub. This is the ideal structure. Only for active employee you have to update. Otherwise, it will not applicable for any non-active employee or any other contractual employee. So India configuration is fine, German configuration is fine, Spain configuration is fine. Okay. So similarly, you can follow your whatever same grouping, whatever you'll be doing. Okay. So most of configurations are fine. Wherever
we just need to we just need to update employee group and subgroup.
Yeah. So whatever you follow your employee group and employee subgroup. Okay. And accordingly, you will be getting it. And as usual, after doing it, you just simply check these two options, check and activate. This button sequentially you have to activate it. Once it is done, it should show feature is generated, then it is ready to use. So this is the concept of your LGMST structure. So that is all for today. So as suggested, let's take a break tomorrow, and in the meanwhile, I'll be checking that issue. Okay. And we keep on.
Okay, how I got to know that my LGMST feature has correctly updated?
Okay, so that how you can do whatever LGMS structure you are using. Okay, whatever employee you have hired. Okay, so because if the employee belongs to your Canada, okay, automatically, and whatever the employee group and subgroup, whatever you have mentioned in the LGMS structure. Okay, so if the employee belongs to that particular employee group or subgroup, definitely your employee type 8 will populate those specific feature. So those waste types and all. Okay. So that we'll be seeing just to experiment with. Take your time. And tomorrow we'll not be having any session. Then day after, and we'll be just let me update whatever if any issue in this exercise. So today I'm not giving any assignment. We're already overloaded with a lot of things. Okay. So let me check that.
The actual thing is my company is not creating and I'm unable to update anything. So I'll do one thing. I'll just practice this LGMST with an employee which has already been created.
Yeah, sure. So whatever existing employees there, you can try an experiment with them. Okay. And in the meanwhile, we'll be sorting that issue. Okay. So that's all. Okay. Okay. See you then day after tomorrow. And
okay, sure.
Good luck with your all assignments. Hope there will be no issue because once the PA is sorted, right, this payroll part is much easier compared to that is also easier, but there is something that's little clumsy because there are so many configurations are surrounding a particular node. Okay, so for that reason, it is difficult. It is difficult to. So we will be finding. So that's all for today. Good night.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.